Good morning, Collective, and welcome to your weekly energetic update. Bottom of the deck, we're starting off with the Justice card, Major Arcana number 11. So, 1, 11 could be of significance to you at this time. With the Judgment coming in, there's definitely more so, I feel like, very deep reflection going on within the collective at this time. Because we understand the energy, what I'm feeling is that we understand that we're on a new timeline now. And I think essentially there's still lingering thoughts of the old timeline, but you understand that you already feel better. You're moving forward. That's without the doubt. Okay. But there's just a lot of deep reflection in terms of what's to come, what's next, and more importantly, what seeds are we planting at this time. I finally got a new lamp head in, so the lighting situation is settled, but in that window of time, my tripod that I typically use to record, one of the clip broke, and that was I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of my fault. I was upset in the moment and kind of manhandling it, and then I noticed later that there was a piece there that was broken. Chariot, Major Arcana, just happened to pop out to me, number 7. You can see there the wings on the upholstery of the chair. And to me that really indicates, because going back to the Judgment card, it can also speak to an awakening. And so I basically feel like you guys right now, the collective is really moving forward in that energy, okay, of awakening, of reflection, of self-discovery. And it's kind of like you're making the necessary tweaks at this time, okay, at self-control, discipline, so however that resonates to you. Actually, well, interesting, we'll see in the next reading. There's a gentleman I found on YouTube, Dove Serpent Tarot. Well, I realized that he has another channel out, Tarot Logic. Love it. Just found it yesterday. So literally just this morning I watched, or actually I didn't watch it. I saved it to watch later. But there is a video he has titled "Why You Shouldn't Say Take What Resonates with You." So I'm very interested to see what is said about that. But let's get into it, everyone. This is going to be just a general weekly energetic update, and I'll be taking a look at the areas of love, career, and finance. To me. Okay. 2 Major Arcana on the table right off the bat, the Lovers in the Tower. We also have the 4 of Swords. Bottom of the deck, the Fool in the reverse. I'm happy to see him at the bottom of the deck, but as I was just talking about the Tarot Logic YouTube channel, I watched a short this morning over the Fool card. So it's just, it's nice to see the Fool here today in our spread. But bottom of the deck, okay. And the Fool is coming in the reverse. So it depends here. Some of you guys could perhaps be if not acting, thinking recklessly. Perhaps you're having these thoughts that even you're kind of side-eyeing in a way. On the other side of the coin, this could indicate that somehow you're being naive to a certain situation or energy or connection of some sort, or you're being taken, or you feel like you're being taken advantage of this time. But I mean, because the energy of the Fool is wonder, new beginnings, innocence. And I feel like maybe your innocence right now, you feel like, I don't know, your innocence is being dulled, or you're not really, it's essentially what I'm getting is like you feel like you're not really able to be yourself at this time, okay? I do want to just see here, let's see if we can get some more info on why the Fool in the reverse. Okay, do you want to come out? Okay, so we have 7 of Cups in the reverse. I think what it is right now, guys, you're feeling, it's like, I'm kind of in, it's hard to describe. There's like a feeling of disarray in the energies right now, okay? There's a feeling of disarray, most likely of just confusion is really what I'm getting. Because again, with the Judgment card, we're really reflecting on just everything, and I think very important, or more specifically, the area of how you've handled yourself emotionally in past situations, connection, and things of that nature. But the 7 in numerology, it speaks to right now, either some of you are experiencing what feels like a challenge or some type of obstacle. For some and I'm not getting this, 7 can also speak to action, but I'm actually not getting that in this spread here. I feel like you guys are not taking action, especially with the Fool here, speaking in new beginnings. People may often see the Fool as, taking a leap, okay, taking a risk of some sort. So no action is being done here, but really right now you're in the emotions, okay? You're in the area of emotions and really reflecting on that, okay? But also very importantly, I feel that what I'm really getting out of these cards thus far is that you feel a lack of purpose. That's what you're trying to figure out right now, okay? With the reflection of the Judgment card. We then see how we have another 7 here. So I always feel like you're being told, like, it's time to take action. It's almost encouraging you, because I said with the first 7, and I'm just noticing we have another 7 here, the 7 of, that has to be Swords. So right now you need to rethink your approach, okay? This could also speak for some of you, there's still some deception going on around you, and if that does resonate with you, then be aware, okay? Be aware that there could be some type of deception, okay? Basically someone outside of yourself, whether it be this could be, again, friend, family, lover, but there's, and that's why I said there's all this reflection. You're rethinking your approach at this time, okay? So you are being encouraged to take action, of course, when you truly feel ready to take action. But the energy here is that if you are to take action, you're going to be in good energy, essentially, because again, with those 2 7s, again, that's just, to me, that's like, okay, yeah, it's a message to take action. Okay, and essentially, guys, in tarot, truly, I'm simply tapping into the wavelength or the frequency that that the collective is essentially running in, okay? And essentially what energies want to be known at the time. So my friends, we're sitting here again in the full energy in the reversed, again, either being naive, either being taken advantage of, or just feeling like, again, you can't be yourself, you can't be who you truly are, maybe because of this 7 of Swords situation, where, perhaps there could have been deception or trickery or some type of strategy used against you, again, whether, friend or foe or lover. So let's move on then. We're going to start with the area of love, okay, and then we have career and finance. We're starting with the 4 of Swords in the area of love. Now, the 4 in numerology, this speaks to, stability, structure, security. And I feel like at this time, what I'm getting is a big energy of like, you guys have really been just kind of sticking to yourselves, very homebody at this time. You can see the cat is by itself here, in the card. But right now, it's fine, because this restoration is leading to what you've been doing up here, which is contemplation. So you're contemplating, you're reflecting, you see the energies, you feel them, and you're sifting through them, whether consciously or subconsciously, but you are sifting through them. And so I feel like in the area of love specifically for the collective, a lot of what I'm getting here is that you guys are solo. You guys are either no contact or have cut off contact. You know what I mean? Like, because again, I talked at the beginning of the read about the fact that we're on new timelines at this time. So, so the Swords to me, is a suit of intellect, communication, but also, pain, all right? But here again with the 4 of Swords, you guys are stabilizing the pain. You are in a good place at this time. I just don't know if this lingering past energy is still like somehow causing inner doubt, even if you don't think it is, but like you're not like, oh no, it's not because of like what so and so said in the past, but it, is it? I'm just kind of getting that feeling here to contemplate, try and go within. And when I say go within, ideally, through meditation, okay, just through mindfulness. Just literally just sitting there in silence with yourself here and there, and give your mind time to process. So in the area of love right now, again, you guys are fine, right? I feel like you're healing, and you've healed from past, from past pains. But you felt, you just definitely needed to rest. So what else in the area of love? The 3 of Wands, which is coming out here on its side. But, but with the 3, this is definitely speaking to expansion. So, because you can see, that's so cute too, is I was just going to say, you're solo here, right? Solo here, going through your emotions, okay? Solo reflecting, solo contemplating. But then funny enough, we've then got 2 cats, and 2 cats, right? So there's a call here. I feel like it's time, guys, to you've healed, okay? Even if you feel like you're not ready, you're healed. You've gotten over this, okay? And truly, I feel like you guys know that. That doesn't mean you're not still sorting through the energies and still alchemizing them as you move on this new timeline. But starting with the 3, definitely, it's like this is a call now for expansion and growth and, getting out into the community somehow, reconnecting, however that looks to you. The 3 of Wands here, again, on its side, it's like you're looking ahead and you're looking at how you want to expand, but at the same time, there's the second time, I forgot which card that, but anyway, this is the second time we're talking to feeling like there's obstacles on the path, okay, on your path. So, and if not obstacles, simply delays, you just kind of feel like, and not that the delay is a bad thing. I almost feel like you're fine. You're fine in this area right now, okay? You're fine. And again, look how the Lovers is in the reverse. So you're not actively looking for love, and that's okay. You're still resting. But I think with the 3 of Wands, it's like you're still in the energy of allowing in, a lover or a new person. But then you also get frustrated, perhaps, when you think about it, because these past energies of this person are still on their way out, but maybe the things they've said have been haunting you. And not haunting you, it's just you're reflecting on what has been said, again, emotionally. The Suit of Cups, speaks to the emotional side of our energies. Okay, so we have another Wands card, the 5 of Wands in the reverse. It's okay, so here is what it is. You're respecting differences at this time. And that's why I'm saying, like, you being in this energy is totally okay, guys. But what I'm trying to tell you is you have healed, okay? You understand that you in this past situation or person or whatever the situation, connection, you guys just didn't want the same things, and so you're starting to come even more into a place of alchemizing the energies to where you can kind of look back and you don't get frustrated or angry on that. It's just an inner reflection of trying to essentially avoid any future Tower moments from happening. Not that like you're actively trying to avoid them, you're just not going to put yourself in a position, all right, to have a Tower moment in some type, especially, okay, in the area of love. Okay. But you're really just kind of, hanging back, essentially, at this time. And I put these out of order. So next we have Major Arcana number 16, the Tower. So here's the thing, this card is coming in the area of career. And I feel that for a majority of you, there was either a disaster was averted, okay? So either a disaster was averted for some of you, or you're delaying a disaster from happening. So let's see what other info we can get here for the Tower in the area of career. Okay, we have the 3 of Cups. So again, a second time that, a 3, or, the number is making, so, up here, sorry, I just jumbled all that together. The 7 stood out to me, but also the 3 is standing out to me. So again, something here about expansion or creating something for yourself in the area of love, or even engaging in community. Now, with the Three of Cups here in the reverse, isolation. Possibly gossip, but more so isolation. And that's why we talked about it's time to expand, it's time to reach out to the community. But right now you've been isolating so much. And remember how, we just went through and saw all it's like you're by yourself in all these cards, but then I start to almost see you engaging, okay, in the energy. So, again, guys, you were, I don't know how much you can see with this, how I have my phone, but single, 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 and then it started with the 3 where you have two cats, also came out then in the 5 of Wands, 2, 2, so you can just kind of see the pattern here, right? Or how the energies are going. So you have the free will to tap into this, flow if you so wish. But I feel like right now you may be thinking about it, okay? You may be thinking about friendship or community, and you are thinking about your happiness at this time, again, especially in the area of career. But I don't necessarily think, again, I feel more so that you may be trying to avert disasters. Like maybe you're like, I don't want to make any friends. I think it's just best to maybe just, you know what I mean? Like not let any energies in almost, even though you're thinking about it. Or maybe there's some past friends that you have been meaning to reach out to, but it's been a minute and you still haven't done it. So, but specifically in the area of career, there's something here in terms of, advancement of some sort. So I don't know how you've been isolating. Perhaps you have a project in mind, or you haven't been asking for help. I feel like what I'm getting mostly is that like perhaps you work remotely. So yes, you're isolated, but there's a way that you could engage more if you so wanted. Or maybe you do go to work and you have your coworkers and such, but you're still pretty isolated at work. Like you don't engage in I was gonna say the after school activities, right? You don't engage. So the Magician in the reverse, guys. Again, second time this is speaking to deception. So there could have been some deception in the area of the workplace, and that's why you're just sticking to yourself and not really wanting to kind of take any action at this time, okay? But in numerology, the ace, the 1, it speaks to the fact that it's like I feel like you're doubting your potential, okay? Because the potential is here, you're just doubting it. But this also indicates that now is the time to act. So I talked about the patterns here. You can see repeating messages and energies wanting to show themselves to you. So take heed, take note. So there is clearly some deception that happened here. And so at this time you just feel like, again, you can't be yourself, you can't move forward with the projects that perhaps you were wanting to move forward with, or maybe you have a lot of ideas but you're keeping quiet at this time or keeping them to yourselves. But for whatever reason, or I'm not going to say for whatever reason, there's a reason, but I'm tapping into your energies, guys, and your energy is ready to go. So it's almost like your inner being, your higher self, you're ready to go, your inner child, they're ready to go when you're ready to go, when your ego's ready to go, okay? So whatever the case, there was maybe some trickery here, some cunningness, like someone was crafty about something, in the workplace. I'm going to see if I can get... Okay. So look how gorgeous, okay? And again, here's another 3, okay? So this is telling you now, again, that now is the time to expand, now is the time to create, and now is the time to involve yourself in community. Even if you've been, I was going to say shaded in the past. It sounds off, but you get what I'm trying to say. Even if you were caught off guard here in the past, guys, you know what I mean? Don't let it hinder your expansion, your creation, whatever it is. I mean, the Empress, Major Arcana, I was just trying to get more information here in the area of the workplace, and you come out with the whopping Empress. So, again, this is your time to create, okay? You're fertile with potential, okay? With, with beauty, with a good energy, essentially. I mean, that's what I'm saying. You're so innocently, beautifully bright-eyed, but it's like it's time to know that you're safe, really tap back into the Fool and the energy of the Fool and take that new beginning, okay? Tap into that innocence, that wonder, and move forward in the air, in your career as you so see fit, okay? Because whatever this past situation was, they're no threat here anymore, And actually, let me go ahead and just pull, let's get more information on this 7 of Swords. Okay. Okay, so more information on that 7 of Swords. So we have a Page of Swords here in the reverse, okay? So Page energy to me is this person is whatever this energy, past shade, whatever, deception was going on, childish energy, okay? And you know that. I mean, it's one of those things where you see someone in a position at work and you're like, absolutely doesn't make sense. So right off the bat, childish energy, they're unsure of themselves, of how the world works, okay? They don't know, but you do know. So again, freaking 3rd time, the Page of Swords, yes, it speaks to deception, manipulation, but at the end of the day, this 7 of Swords person, whoever they are to you, is all talk. All talk. So I pulled for more information, but low-key more so do you need to worry about this person anymore? Nah, you don't gotta worry about shit. I'm serious, guys. And then the world to back that up. This is you going into a new cycle, a new beginning. Look how you're swinging into, okay? And I just think that looks so beautiful here next to the Empress with the reds that I'm picking up on there. That bright, bold energy, that color. In the world here, very beautifully, it speaks to fulfillment, harmony, and completion. Okay, so you do not have to worry, guys, about this past energy or person or whatever the case. You're going to glow up, again, as soon as, just remember, the biggest thing you can do here is stay true to yourself. Don't change for anyone. Don't change how you do things. How you do things is integral to yourself. So if you start, taking shortcuts or doing something this way because someone at work says that's how you need to do it, but it doesn't feel right, all that kind of stuff. I just cut the deck to the 3 of Swords here in the reverse. So you guys are definitely chewing that pain, you know what I mean? And spitting it back out. Okay. All right, so lastly, the area of finance, we have the Lovers, Major Arcana, number 6, and it is coming in the reverse. So, this does speak to some indecision and some conflict, right? Even possibly the end of a relationship, which again, for some of you, this could be resonating with the past lover as well as a work situation. I mean, unfortunate as that is. But whatever the case, again, and I felt that in the beginning, you're still kind of unsure of what to do, but hopefully after this reading, you're re-energized, in terms of how to move forward. But there's because the lover speaks to choices. So there's a choice here in the area of finance that you're unsure really of how to move forward. So let's see what else wants to come out in the area of finance. Okay. Well, you have the Eight of Wands. I giggled or chuckled just because of, it's like as soon as the card landed, it was like, boom, energy. 8. This is about ambition and discipline, okay? The Eight of Wands, it does speak to, again, action, okay, but more so rapid action. Making a quick decision. So you're unsure of a decision or choice that needs to be made, but you're being called here to make that decision quickly, which is quite interesting. Before you go off making crazy financial decisions, let's see what more, what does this have to do with? But that should make sense to you. If there's something where you feel like you need to make a financial decision quickly, but you're just unsure which way to go, I mean, the energy's speaking right for what it is, but just, please do not act, everyone, guys, obviously, that's why we say, in tarot, it's you can't just take someone's word because the energies are always changing. So let's just see. The Two of Wands, another decision. Again, this is Two of Wands speaks to making decision, because even the two itself speaks to decision. So there's a decision that just needs to be made here, and it needs to be done sooner rather than later. Okay, I forgot what I had here. So the Two of Wands. Please take this if it goes with your story, but this could be something about a financial decision to leave home. However that, you could be living on your own and maybe moving back home, or excuse me, my mind just kind of went off track. More so by leaving home, you live with your parents and you're actually going to go out on your own, or you're living with maybe a past relationship that didn't work, you got to kind of start getting out on your own. I'm not sure, but I'm getting more so that it's you almost have to. And with the lovers though, that could definitely be, guys, if you're still in a situation where maybe you're living with someone, or not even fully living, but you're there quite a bit of time, but you're starting to feel them pull their energy back almost. It's time to act. It's time to act. You already know what decision needs to be made, guys. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I was in this situation in one of my connections where, truthfully, I overstayed my welcome, and I look back on it now, and it's funny because I had my bags ready and I was walking out the door on night number 1 that I felt disrespected, and second chance is given, and then this person starts to act all weird, and literally I'm just literally I don't have time for this, and it got to the point where I just finally took off, and then it was anyway. And then they always reach back out, but you got to get to a point where you're I'm not interested anymore, and that was said to that person. So So I'm kind of getting that, guys, like there's something here in the area of finance that, you need to make a decision and make it rather quickly. And I feel like almost like, let's see if we can get any. I got that 11-11 energy again. 4 of Wands in the reverse. So whatever stability or security you had in the area of finance, and I'm really feeling like whatever that is, it could be living with someone or not, but it's not stable anymore. The structure's breaking, or you know what I mean? The structure is deteriorating, and that's why you need to act quickly. I'll let you take a look at the card this way. The thing is with this coming in on its side, the 4 of Wands speaks to a lack of support in even home conflicts. So guys, it's like I said, there's something about leaving home here, okay? And most likely, you're currently or we're just living with a past love connection, romantic connection. It doesn't have to be. It could just be like family that you had a lot of love for that you just can't tolerate anymore. But whatever the case, I mean, that I was trying to get more clarification. That's pretty clear, okay? So let's go ahead and let's get some advice cards here. Okay, so in the area of finance, we have the Justice, okay, which we saw our very first card at the bottom of the deck, except now it is coming in the reverse. So don't let, it's like, don't let what gets you be your own lack of self-awareness or your own self-doubt, okay? All right. And then, perfect. So for the area, why did I forget the word? Advice. Okay, advice for the area of finance, or career, excuse me. This is the 9. Okay, cool. This is the 9 of Swords in the reverse. You're near the end here. And I said it earlier, but you're near the end. Remember, that's why you're literally like swinging in like Tarzan into a brand new cycle, okay? A better cycle. But you're near the end here of whatever this workplace conflict, career, side of things looks like for you. But you're definitely nearing the end here, okay? And reach out for help, guys. But I feel like most of you are starting to feel the energies of hope, and that you can start to reach out for help, or not even if not just help, but again, to community, to collaborate on, whatever projects you have going on. But very nice there. Again, you do not have to worry in the area of career. You don't have to worry about this past person. Let's see some advice for the area of love, of which we have the 10 of Cups in the reverse, okay? You are releasing, and we did talk about that. You're releasing still and alchemizing any past hurts in the area of love. Now, for some of you, this card does speak to, shattered dreams, broken family, or domestic dispute. So that goes back to this financial situation. So in the collective, then I've got a big split of, really this area of career, having someone that shaded you in the area of career, or whatever the case, but that situation's ending and you can move forward in your authenticity. in your truth. And then for the other side, majority of the collective, there's something here with a current, I want to say current / past love situation. Like you may still have your stuff at this person's house. You may still have not completely blocked their energy. Okay, and then for some of you, you're still alchemizing and letting it go. But anyway, that's all I have for you today, and I'll see everyone in the next reading.